Welcome to the Webinar Talk Show. I'm Liz Green.
Hey, and my name is Tom Singer. And together with Liz, it's just been so much fun to put together this format of the Webinar Talk Show because we discovered as more and more people were sitting down watching webinars all day long, we discovered that webinars didn't have to be long and boring, and they also could be entertaining, and it didn't have to just be a talking head over PowerPoint.
It's very true. And one of the things we know for sure is doing an interview style makes it more interesting. But that takes a little preparation if you're going to do it for somebody who's used to being a professional speaker. And Tom and I were on a production call, a set of them yesterday, with professional speakers who are going to be presenting their content online for our National Speakers Association conference, which is moving toward a virtual experience. That takes a little time, both to make them comfortable with what our role is going to be in their program, but also chatting through what would be the best way to highlight their content and then make it actionable for the people who are attending.
And one of the things that we found in talking to speakers, but also associations who are looking to go virtual for the first time, is the first gut reaction is, let's just do what we would do if we were live. Let's just have a speaker for an hour, followed by another speaker for an hour. And what we found is virtual just has to be a little different to be more engaging.
Absolutely. A little different to be engaging. And speaking of a group that is a little different to be engaging, our guest today, oh my goodness. I got to meet Jonathan Reynolds when I did their annual employee event, a couple of years ago. And in my research on job stress, it is one of the organizations that scored the best on the question about how well their employer helps them manage their own stress. Now, Jonathan's going to tell us more about what they do, but the very nature of their job is somewhat stressful, but they reported that their employer does a great job. And I use that company as an example in my book, as a company that makes their employees feel seen and valued and connected to the mission of that company. What is the most intriguing thing about this whole story is they are a 100% remote workforce. They deliver all of that virtually, even before COVID-19. So, Tom, I would like you to meet someone who is passionate about helping companies with their people and their people strategy, Jonathan Reynolds.
Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the Webinar Talk Show.
Woo!
So one of the things that I found fascinating is that you don't have a wall to put your mission statement on, or your lived values, as you call them, which was something I found very impressive. That being the case, how do you deliver that connection to mission to people that you're not in the same room with almost never?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me on the show. It's good to meet you, Tom. Liz, you were fantastic for us at our annual Progress event, where we bring all of our teams together, fly everyone in, and talking about stress and mental health and wellness was a real gift to us, and something that we try to talk about often, and making sure all of our people are managing their life and kind of the balance of it all. It's not like work and then private world. They're all just intermingled, especially when your office is in your home. And I know that most of the nation are feeling that right now, with barking dogs and screaming kids and everything like that. That adds another dynamic for a lot of people who are not used to working remote, or we call it mobile.
And that's one of the big things I learned from you is language matters.
Yeah. Our words really do matter, because they conjure up a picture of what is supposed to be. And so when you say remote, it can also be synonymous with isolation. I am remote. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm on an island. And so when we say mobile, we say, listen, you can work from wherever. So if you want to work from your backyard or inside your house or somebody else's backyard or in somebody else's house, if you're feeling isolated and lonely, just let us know. And we're checking in with people, say, all right, we need to get you on a plane and come and meet with another team member.
Right.
And so investing in as much as possible, where team members can see one another, having regional or local events to bring people together with connection, because we are created for human connection and relationship. And when you don't have that water cooler and the interaction, sort of sitting in the break room or a lunch room or next to somebody at their cubicle, and you're just talking about the weekend, you definitely miss out on a lot of that when you are a mobile company or a remote company. And so we put a lot of investment into face-to-face. So we are, I mean, the world is feeling zoomed out right now. We live.
That's a good
I'm on
phrase.
Zoom all day long, and now my neighbors want to have a happy hour. I'm like, I don't want to do happy hour on Zoom with my neighbors, you know.
So Jonathan, let's go back to the beginning. I mean, many of your competitors have offices and multiple offices in different cities and things like that. What led you to go to this full mobile workforce from day one? I mean, obviously your company's been around a while. You weren't concerned about quarantine. Why did you do this?
Sure. Yeah. There are lots of reasons. I think one of them is we say we put our people first, our partners second, and our profits last or third. And they're very, very, very closely connected to one another. But it's the prioritization of our decisions. So when there's a major decision that we have to make, we filter it through what's best for our people, because we have a belief that if we put our people first and they feel like we're considering them first, which is a really important component, they have to feel it, then they will in turn go to the ends of the earth to serve and bend over backwards to serve our partners, our clients or customers. So that's a kind of a belief system and agreement that we have as the company, as a structure, and the organization and the leaders of the company say, no, we will put our team first. And they rise and say, all right, then I can run 1,000,000 miles an hour without fear of failure or that somebody's going to kind of hang me out to dry when something goes wrong if I take a risk and it doesn't pan out. No one's going to do that. They're actually going to back me and support me and say, well done for being entrepreneurial, well done for taking a risk, well done for being innovative. Those are great. If we can instill that in our people, we will outperform our competitors, because a lot of companies have a kind of unintentionally, but a fear-based leadership, fear of failure, fear of getting in trouble, fear of breaking some rule or law. And so we try and have as least amount of rules as possible, but teach principles of our values, like how we make our decisions, why we do what we do, our passion, vision, and purpose, and then give people the freedom to run hard and fast and be creative and own what's theirs.
Well, and there are lots of companies out there, and I think Tom and I have been at meetings with some of those companies who have a lofty mission statement or value statement, and then you talk to the employees and they're like, oh. But I will say one of the things that I found really impressive is you gave me the freedom, which rules out the door, to facilitate a conversation in the room about stress and support and that sort of thing. And over, I heard that the decisions that were made actually worked for your employees. Whether it was just simply saying, if you're a night owl, cool, do your work at night. They don't care. And that's not the case everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's one of the, I don't think I answered your first question, Tom. Why do we go remote or mobile? And I think what I was explaining was we put our people first, so it's best for them. Now, there are plenty of people in the world right now who are going, I thought I wanted to work remote, when I wasn't allowed to do it. And now I definitely don't want to work remote. But it is because it's a part of kind of who we are, that people have this freedom to work in an office or work remote. And we do have an office space in the Midwest, and you'll find people in there a few days a week, teams coming together who are in a proximity to the office. and it's a cool space where we can come and hang out and work a bit and meet one another and spend time together and have fun together. And then go home and do your work, because they realize when they come together, they get less done. So go figure, huh? So I think with what's best for our people is to trust them to perform in a way that actually works with the rhythms of their life. And so if somebody can get the job done in the evenings and early mornings and spend most of the middle of the part of their day off with their family members and go to the park and stuff like that, if you can do that job, then that's fine. So we're an interesting balance as a company, because we're, as a talent strategy company, we help companies with a major part is recruitment. And we do a lot of passive candidate headhunting. So going after people who are not looking for a new job and sort of stealing them for our clients. And so now, when is that most effective to get done? It depends. So our recruiters are working on about 4 searches at any given time. And so they're having to juggle their week and saying, okay, I have to deliver results, which is one of our live values. They have to deliver results. So how am I going to do that? When am I going to get hold of these people most effectively? And often that's in an evening time. Now, pre-COVID-19, now in the midst of this, so many people are at home and easier to get hold of. So we've seen a greater positive response rate now, which is cool for recruiters like us. And I'm just really thankful that the trust has been given to our team members to get their jobs done in the way that works for them, but also delivers great results for our clients.
So that actually brings up an interesting question. So in the midst of stay at home, shelter in place, people are still recruiting. There's still companies looking to fill positions. Yeah,
I mean, and I say this with kind of even a sadness in my heart. I think a lot of recruiting companies have tanked and are either going out of business or have gone out of business, which is a real struggle, because I think a lot of companies put hiring freezes on and, caps on all spending and things like that. So recruiters suddenly just dropped. I'm thankful for where we're at. We're an Inc. 5000 fastest growing company, and been growing at a really nice clip every year, and we've never not hit our goals and targets. So we are fighting this year to come out of this strong, and I'm thankful that we've not had to lay anyone off or furlough or have any riff in the company. I mean it with so much thankfulness in my heart for our people's sake. It would, it's tough. But yeah, we're still recruiting hard, and we've seen an uptick in some industries of companies who are saying, let's take advantage of this 30 million people unemployed right now and go after some really top-notch talent. And so they've come to us and say, go and build us a pipeline of passive candidates, reach out to them. We don't want to hire just yet. We will. So it's worth making the investment right now. So we kind of kicking into some pipeline building for companies, which has been really cool to be a part of, kind of a solution for companies and fixing something where they know that they're going to have a hard time recruiting after this, because you post an ad and you're going to get 500 under or overqualified people.
So looking forward in your business, that's going to be an issue, is the pool just got bigger. There was no pool. You had to go out and find the people, right?
Yeah. So I'll be sensitive in how I say this, but every one of us knows somebody who's been laid off or furloughed, and that causes a lot of pain for everyone involved. When those reduction in workforce happens, typically speaking, you don't lay off your top performers first. So how we look at it is say, listen, we will still go after the passive candidate who's working with an assumption that pool, although maybe smaller, it's going to have better fish in it, and that's where we're going to fish.
So that actually brings up an interesting conversation. I had 2 conversations this week with people who still have their jobs with companies, but the company has made decisions and furloughed some other people. They've had to lay off staff. And these people, they're great employees and they're managers and they have a lot of experience. They're not happy with the way their bosses have handled this situation. So they're suddenly becoming a little less passive, thinking as soon as this turns, I'm ready to go somewhere else. So do you think you're going to see a lot of that? People who would have been like, no, I'm
Sure.
happy where I am.
Our company was born in 2010, and we had 12% unemployment at that time. And we started in this kind of coming out of a recession, and it was very attractive. We started, Milwaukee Tool was our first client. We still partner with them today, which has been great to have that alliance and their parent company, et cetera. But it was with the understanding of like, why would I pay you when I got 500 applicants sitting in my box? But I said, well, let's go after the people who are not looking, but who have been held on after 5 rounds of layoffs, and they're still there because they're the best, they're highest performing, but I bet you they're overworked and undervalued and underappreciated, because it was in a time where you better just be thankful you have a job. And it was true.
So is that a lesson then to employers to make sure this time around, not like in 2010?
Oh yeah.
The people you're keeping for a reason,
absolutely,
you're valuing them more than you did before.
Absolutely. I heard somebody say, how you treat your people during this time will be your DNA and reputation for the next 10 years. And I just think it's so true. How we treat people during crisis and stress and pain is going to be huge. It's going to be really, really huge. When stress is on, we all behave in different ways. When you put pressure on, and we all kind of heat up in different ways and react in different ways. But I think as leaders, we have to really center ourselves, make sure that we're putting our people first. Like Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last, great book, just about servanthood and putting other people first. And I think that's going to show a lot of companies' true colors during this time, how they treat people. And the thing is, we don't know. And so I've been saying a lot. People ask, well, what about this? How long is this going to last? What are we going to do here? Will there be And the answer is, I don't know. I really genuinely do not know. And I've never done this before. I use it with my kids. Sometimes I'm like, they're so annoyed at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I've never been a dad to a 14-year-old girl before. I'm still learning. I've never done this before. I'm thankful for our team. We have an amazing team at Titus, the whole team, but also our leadership team. My business partner, he is just phenomenal. He's been through about he's older than me. He's been through 4 different major economic downturns, and so. But this is still unique. There's still a whole bunch I don't know. We've never done a global pandemic that's to do with health related and everyone having to cover their mouths and put masks on and work from, so there's so much I don't know. But if we treat people right, they will, I believe that they'll be a little more gracious with us, merciful and loyal in the long run, because we were there for them.
Right. And you as a company have been so generous. I know you've done it twice. Maybe you've done it more than I was aware of. You've done webinars to share exactly what you do to support your staff virtually. Like completely laid it all out. I was on the first one. I took, 4 pages of notes. It's phenomenal. And it sounds like you're going to do that again.
Yeah, we've done a series, and we're going to keep going on just from a knowledge share, which is another one of our kind of uniques as a company. We believe in knowledge share to the point where if it means that we have trained our clients and partners to do what we do, so that we lose business, we're still pro that, because I think when the art of consultants is to keep finding more and more problems. Or a general contractor in your house, all the things that they can do to make your house better, and finding all these things that are not working. When does this end? We actually we believe in knowledge transfer, and we want to equip companies to make the best hiring, attraction, engagement, and development decisions to meet their people and performance objectives. That's a long phrase, but that's our mission statement. And all of this, we do it so that we can give back in generosity. So purpose is huge as well for our team. And but yeah, sharing and generosity is the end game for us at Titus, which is cool.
Well, and we'll put on the Webinar Talk Show Facebook page anytime you're doing a webinar, because
cool.
I believe so strongly that people need to know your company, and they really need the that knowledge that you're so willing to share.
Oh, thanks. That's great. I really appreciate that. Cool.
So if somebody wanted to find you, and I would suggest definitely they should, where would they find you?
Well, physically, you could come to San Diego where I live.
I'll be there in October. We'll go have a beer.
Oh, sounds great. I love it. That's a great time of the year here. But yeah, physically here we have we don't really call it a headquarters because we don't want a headquarters mentality. You can grow your career from anywhere in the country, but we have a training hub in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And, there you go, where Liz is. That's great. And you're welcome to that space and use that space anytime you want. And any of your listeners as well. If they need a little hub, a little place to sit down or have a conference, have a meeting, have a training session, we will open up our office for the use for that.
That's great.
But LinkedIn is a great place to find me. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, MySpace. No, I'm kidding. No MySpace.
We're going to revive MySpace? What?
And I will say, Jonathan is like a master on LinkedIn because that's how you found me.
It's true. It is true.
This is how we met. And people will say, have you ever met a client on LinkedIn? And I'm like, sure.
Have you been hired from LinkedIn? Yes, she has. I actually have too. So, hey, Jonathan.
Hit me up. I used to say I accept all invites to connect, but right now I'm at the point where LinkedIn won't allow me to accept anyone else. So I have to delete somebody every time I accept somebody. But
don't delete me.
I won't delete you. There are certain countries of the world which I go through and like, okay, all right, I don't need that anymore. I don't need it.
He just accepted me yesterday, so now I feel bad for somebody. Somebody has been removed so that I was able to get in.
Yeah.
So Jonathan, right before.
Well, now you're in. It's quite disappointing. It's kind of like, this is it. I'm in. You know, I waited in line for this. So, but no, I love hopping on a phone or a video call and talking through challenges for companies. So, optimizing your talent and getting all the right people in the right seats for greater purpose and higher performance. I'll talk about that and help you navigate those things all day, every day. So
real quick before we let you go, if there's some companies who are thinking, we really probably should be ramping up hiring besides hiring you, can you give us 1 or 2 points for companies on how to make good hires? As long as we got someone as smart as you, I thought we'd throw that in.
So, okay. When we look at the open positions, number one, don't think about just a job description. First of all, think of what is not getting done that needs to get done, and what are the quantifiable performance objectives that need to be done in the first year? Because that's why we hire people. We don't hire people for culture. We hire people for a job to get done. Okay, so first of all, performance goals and objectives. Define 3 to 5 major quantifiable objectives that need to be accomplished. Whatever the job is, you can do this. If it's racking your brain right now and you can't think what those are, I'll help you navigate that. Okay, with some probing questions. So you define the job by performance objectives, very, very clear on your values and how are you going to assess those values. Then the next component is how do you, what kind of behaviors are needed for this job to be done effectively? Okay, and we call that head, heart, briefcase. So the behaviors and cognitive, the heart is about value alignment, which I think is a better term than culture fit. We hide behind this culture fit thing, and hiring managers basically say, I don't like them, so we say they're not a culture fit. And so actually defining the measurements of your values. And then the next, we say briefcase or work bag, whatever. What do they got from experience, professional choices, decisions, education that is needed? Now, never hire somebody who's done the job before. What? Top performers.
that was like a little like.
We both had sort of that head tilt. Like what?
Top performers don't make career moves like bottom performers. They don't make lateral moves. They don't go and do something they've done 3 times over. We want to hire people like that because we don't have to train them. The top performers make a bigger. They step up to the job. Day one, it's got to be bigger than they've ever done before, and it's got to be a better growth trajectory than they've ever had before. So don't hire lateral movers. And when you promote somebody from within, probably there's a definition in there that they've never done the job before. You just believe they can. So why would you hire somebody outside the company with a different criteria?
Oh, that's super smart.
So that's my nugget.
I'm glad I asked that question.
Yes, seriously. That was fantastic. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for spending time with us. Our time went so fast, and appreciate you getting up early on the West Coast to join us as well.
It's 9:30. Come on.
Yeah, all right, it's not that early.
Yeah, but during quarantine, most of my friends are sleeping in till 9. So
Yeah, not me.
well, thank you for joining us, and thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched this episode, whether you watched it live on Facebook or whether you're watching the replay. We have decided that we want to do these webinar talk shows because we think that in a short amount of time, we can bring you a lot of aha nuggets, and Jonathan proved that.
Cool.
There was one of these and a lot of ahas today. So thanks so much. You can find Tom and I at webinartalkshow.com, or of course, like us on Facebook at Webinar Talk Show. We look forward to bringing you more great information in a short period of time with a little bit of fun. And
if your company or association is looking to do something different with your webinars, talk to Eliz and I, because we can bring this format to anybody.
Absolutely, we can. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us.